Hi,
Hi,
witches!
witches! Welcome to the Witchy and Bitchy Podcast. On this podcast, we spill all the tea.
If you love unhinged opinions and girl talk, join our Coven.
We ain't scared of cunt-troverse-tea.
Hello, my name is Abril. I'm a vigilant Virgo, and I'm learning how to self-regulate. I'm 23, I live in Texas, and I'm a nature lover.
Hey, I'm Brooke. I'm 24. I live in Colorado, and I'm a trailblazing Taurus. My toxic trait is that I attract crazy.
Hi, I'm Claire. I'm a 23-year-old filmmaker in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a tenacious Taurus. My toxic trait? I know everyone's secrets, even when you think I don't. You could probably put cocky down there too.
So we wanted to give you kind of like a little overview over our podcast. First, we wanted to kind of say why we started it. We've been friends since college. We basically talk every night, and we thought like, why not start a podcast and kind of share our thoughts with like a bigger audience. And basically in this podcast, we talk about wellness, we talk about controversial things. We would like to get some guests on the podcast. We want to answer questions. Um, and we'll have like different topics and we'll get into some today.
So we're going to kick it off with Coven Connection to get you a little idea of how we know each other.
I'll go ahead and start with Claire just because I feel like there's like so much that went on into like how we met each other and it's kind of crazy. But basically our very first interaction, um, we were film majors, right? So in college I had came into the film house and the very first thing I did was basically like yell at her asking who took my umbrella because someone the day before had stolen my umbrella. I had to walk in the rain the next day. I was so mad and I had a feeling that she knew who it was. So I was like, "Who took my umbrella?" And she was like, I don't know." We basically ended up finding out who it was, and we didn't actually start talking until we realized we had so many classes together. And I have never been the person to like be the first one to like go up and talk to someone, but I saw her walking literally to the same class like that I was going to. So I would like put a little pep to my step. I like caught up with her and I'm like, "Hey, you're going to so and so class, right?" And she was like, "Yeah," as if I didn't already know that. But I was just trying to think of like a little conversation starter. Um, but yeah, there was like a lot of things that technically could have happened in order for us to meet, like even since high school, which I think is kind of crazy. But I can let Claire get into that.
The whole issue with the umbrella, I knew who took it because he asked me, "Do you know whose umbrella this is?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "I'm gonna take it." And I said, "Okay." and then the next morning she comes in and she's yelling, being like so mad. She's drenched and just being like, "Do you know who took my umbrella?" And I was like, because I didn't want to rat him out. And so I was like,
No, I get
"No."
it.
And you're like, "Was it the kid that sits next to you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then he came in with the umbrella and you got so mad. But he was just like, "Oh, my bad." Here.
Yeah, it was
So
it was crazy.
funny. I honestly was like, I ain't fucking with her. After that, we had like three out of like 4 or 5 classes together in one semester. And I was like, we gonna become friends. We have to take
Yeah,
classes
true.
together. We gotta help each other out. And then we just like got really close after that. But yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. And yo, like for real, we almost went to the same high school at one point. We ended up living, like our parents' houses were like 15 minutes away from each other or something, like super close.
Mm-hmm.
And even like one of my friends lived together with one of her friends,
Yeah.
roommate, and they were roommates.
No, yeah, like my friend was rooming with your friend, but throughout that whole year, we never like saw each other in their dorm.
Yes. I'm like, I don't know
Like,
how
at
we
all.
did not meet before then.
Yeah, it's
For real.
kind of crazy.
It is.
It's a lot of coincidences.
No, for real.
No, yeah.
Do we want to do me and Brooke next?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
The first time I ever met you was on a set where you were directing it and I was like assistant cam. And I just knew you were a bad bitch, like in general, in the film, in our little film thing class, because we were all filmmakers in college. And then we didn't actually get closer until like after the vignette class. Bonding over trauma, pretty much. Trauma bonding.
Well, I think yeah, we met in Vignette, and like that set, Finn's set just went so well. I was really proud. That was like I was really proud of that set.
It did go really well.
And that was the first time that I saw like your name, saw that you like could do something. Like you weren't just a person that just didn't do anything, because there was a lot of those in the program. But yeah, I saw you work there, and then I was helping out with another vignette set. I think, what was this, 2 semesters apart or something?
Probably.
Or a
No,
semester apart?
it might have been, yeah, a whole year, I think, apart. Maybe.
It was like a whole year later when I was asked to help with another vignette class, and that was an entire semester, and I got to see like what you could really do. And we didn't even know, our school did this thing called summer feature that was supposed to help filmmakers make a feature, be it good, be it bad, just a feature so that they could get their foot in the door to be able to make films professionally. So leading up to that, you have vignette class, which basically like decides who's going to get what position on this feature. Well, because of COVID, like we didn't know if we were going to have a feature. Nobody said anything until the very last minute. And that was when our friend Holland kind of reached out and was like, hey, can you AD this? Because it's such short notice and nobody else had AD'd anything close to that. So I agreed. I agreed. And yeah, that was
And the
like during
person
vignette.
that
I
was
found
supposed
good.
to be second AD was not it
No.
at
So I say all this because during vignette, like I had to look around and think, okay, well, who is gonna help me facilitate this entire feature on such short notice? And so it takes someone like super capable. So, you got to get to know who you're placing where, or you're going to make big mistakes and things will be not as efficient or go well. So I got to know Claire really well. I also got to know Abril, and like in the process, and see that they were like really good filmmakers. And I knew that I wanted to like surround myself with people who were just as passionate and talented. And so getting to know Claire more was my assistant, which, I think we 50/50 that bitch. Like
it was
it
a
was really
lot.
cool. And I got to get close to you professionally.
It was the late nights that I feel like we really bonded.
The defining weekend for us was when my boyfriend at the time, like, he would not go to raves with me. Like he just
Yes.
that was not his
That was
space.
the
So
moment I was like, bitch, yes, I will go.
so I
And
was
she said,
like,
I have
Claire,
a ticket. Do you want to go? And I was
Claire.
like, sure.
And that was a trip. Like,
We hung out outside of film, obviously, a few times and stuff, but not like to that extent. When she asked me, I was like, fuck yeah. That was what, like, it opened my whole mind.
we had a good time. It was a really crazy time. That's a story for another time. But feeding into rave, it's so funny because like the rave space, just like, I don't know, because I kind of met Abril, like I got to know Abril in the same way. It was just like,
Mm-hmm.
I remember vividly being in the alley. We were shooting something between like CBS and the film house, and you were like doing something, and I was like, hey, what kind of music do you listen to? And you said like Steve Aoki or something, like similar, and I was like, oh really? Oh
Yeah.
really? Have you been to a festival? And she was like, no, and I was like, hey, you going to one? And it did it now, and now like when we get the chance, we go out to festivals and have fun and listen to all the crazy alien music. So
It's just like it's so nice because we already didn't. I mean, Claire and I lived together. Not sorry, Claire and I lived like pretty close to each other, but not for that
We
long.
practically did. She was our third roommate when there wasn't a third roommate.
Yeah, and then no, but like outside of college, like we lived pretty close to each other, and then you moved like an hour away, and then Brooke was in Dallas, so we weren't ever like super like close. But it's nice that because we play Fortnite almost every night. I don't really play on the weekends, but we play Fortnite almost every night, which is really nice to like talk to y'all and just kind of decompress that way. But it's especially nice when we can go to like those raves or festivals and it's just like one, I get to like hang out with y'all, and two, it's in such like a nice environment. You know what I mean? Like it's always fun, like there's always stuff going around. It's something that we all enjoy. Um yeah, it's just nice. Like how I'm really glad how we all have that in common because it would have kind of sucked. I'm not gonna lie if one of us didn't like raves, but yeah.
Oh my god, that
I mean,
was
what's not to like though? We get to like dress up, like
That's so
and
yeah.
true.
spend time with
You
each
put on your
other.
own
Like,
alter ego.
yeah,
You
meet a
can
bunch of
be whoever you
people.
want to be and just enjoy
Yeah,
yourself and like the visuals are insane.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been okay, so I've been to like two rave festivals. Like I've gone to like some, like mini indoor one performing artist ones. But like those festivals, like I've seen like, people that are like adults, right? Like 40s, 50s, sometimes even like in their 60s. And I'm like, that's literally gonna be us. Like, I don't care. Like, we will dress up in like bright outfits. I don't care. Like, we're going. Like, there is no
Like
age
I don't
limit
want
to
to miss
that.
it.
For
we
real.
know someone mutually whose parents are ravers.
We do. We do.
We do, and she is not like them, but
No, which is sad because
they
I
are.
feel like you would like she would so enjoy it, but we're gonna
It's okay. It's
see.
okay. It's not
But
everyone's
her
thing.
parents are literally gonna be ice, and I'm so excited.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready for some confessions.
Cauldron Confessions. Okay. I am scared to use cruise control.
How
That
would y'all
makes
know
sense.
that?
I
How would you know that?
It just
remember
makes
you mentioning
sense.
something about it one time. One time.
How does it? Okay, yeah, it's me. When I was really little, my dad bought us this go-kart. Okay, and this was like hillbilly hood style go-kart. There was no safety belts. There was no safety, nothing safety. Okay, and it was like a lawnmower engine. This thing went pretty fast. Um, and there was a lot of sticks on the ground because we lived out in the country, and a stick like got jammed in the engine, and then it was not stopping. Um, I eventually landed in barbed wire. I have quite a few scars from that on my legs, like still to this day, they're pretty deep, and
Oh
like
my
my
God.
face. Um, and
Jeez.
that's why I won't use cruise control
You never
because
told
I'm
me the
scared of not
story.
being.
I just remember you saying, I don't like using that. I don't know, just like a slight comment one time is all I remember.
I won't use it. I'm too scared of not being in control of a vehicle. I know that's like really rare, but it has happened, and it's like a fear that I am not willing to put on the cruise control for.
I don't blame you. I'd be terrified too.
That's a lot. I don't,
I didn't even experience something like that, but I don't put it on. I don't use cruise control like at all.
yeah.
I don't trust it. Mm-mm. COVID made me obsessed with spicy foods. I mean, you both kind of always like spicy stuff, though. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's probably Claire.
Mhm.
Is it
It's
you?
me. We gotta do 1, 2, 3
Girl,
though. We gotta hold it up at 3.
Oh,
Oh,
true.
Yeah,
my bad.
because it gives it away. Okay.
COVID changed your whole ass taste buds.
No, okay.
What?
Honestly, it was because like COVID, I couldn't taste anything. Like everything tasted like shit. It was just bland and and so like then it made me start eating like really spicy stuff. And the more spice it had, just better it tasted. It didn't taste necessarily like super spicy. It was just like, oh, it actually has flavor. And so then,
Mm-hmm.
like, as my taste started coming back, I just kept eating that food. So then I just now really like spicy food.
Yeah, that makes sense because whenever I had COVID in college,
Mm-hmm.
like again, same thing. Like I could not taste a single thing. Like it was hard for me to imagine hearing things like from people who had COVID. In my head, it doesn't make sense how taste can just go away, you
It
know?
doesn't go away, it's
But
just altered.
no, no,
Mm.
no. To me, like my taste, well, during COVID, like
Yeah.
my taste completely went away for like 2 weeks. And then when it was like slowly coming back, there was a lot of things that I could not eat anymore. Like I used to really, well, I like them again because my taste buds kind of like went back to normal. But like the Ruffles, like cheese chips, could not even smell them. The Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches, all I could taste was like the oil. Um, like anything citrusy, like oranges. Like I love oranges, but when I was like like when my taste buds were recovering, it tasted like I was eating like the orange peel. Like it tasted so intense. Like there were so many things that were just altered, and then now they're like back to normal. I still can't really eat Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches just because they don't really taste the same to me anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kick ice cubes under the fridge.
We're gonna do it on 3, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. It's not me.
Really?
No,
It would
Brooke?
be. It would me.
it was you.
It would me. I'm the imposter.
It's like you
Yeah.
liar. You put up clear.
You guys ever just like wake up in the middle of the night, you need like a glass of water, and like you just drop an ice cube?
No, I get that.
Yeah, I'm not picking it up. Like, I'm sorry, I don't live in my parents' house anymore. I'm just gonna kick it.
No, okay, so I get the fact of like I'm too lazy to do it, but I'm always scared I'm gonna kick the ice cube under, the ice is gonna melt, some spark is gonna go off, and then it's
Oh,
just gonna like fuck up the whole fridge. That's my thinking process. Like I wouldn't want anything else than just to kick it under the fridge and forget about it, but I can't do
I
that.
won't kick it, but sometimes I'll just leave it.
Oh my
If
god.
it's
That's
small. If it's like half a cube, I'll leave it. If it's a full cube, I'll pick it up and put it in the sink.
that's more atrocious because the next person who walks down there is gonna have like their toes all in that little puddle.
Imagine with socks. Oh my
It's only
god,
been
no.
small though.
Oh!
Would laugh at people getting attacked by birds and then got attacked by same 3 times. Birds 3 times.
Oh,
Okay.
I can do
1,
it.
2, 3.
What? No, this one not me.
It's not.
It was me.
No. Although it's
It's
funny.
April.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, that sounds like
So
something Brooke would happen to Brooke though.
See, I thought it
so
said it like something that would happen to her.
So I used to live in these apartments and like I had a pretty big window and outside the window since it was on the first floor there was like a little tree right there.
Mhm.
And I remember for the first time I noticed it happen, I heard this man go ah and I'm like it was scary because it was right outside my window and I'm like what is going on? And I see this bird like just flapping its wings on it and he was bald too. Just flapping its wings on his head and I was just like, what is going on? And then I saw the little nest and I was like, these are like I looked those birds up later. Those are very territorial
Oh,
birds.
girl.
So no one really like complained about it, I guess, because the bird nest was still there. And it happened to so many people and it was right outside my window and it was very entertaining. And then when I was walking my dog one time, I had my AirPods in And then out of nowhere, something just like hits my head. And I swear, since I don't know if I heard anyone walk up to me. Like, I don't know if anyone was around me because I had my AirPods in. I turn around and there's no one and I'm freaking out. And then I look up and the bird is literally like flying down at me. I start running. It catches up to me, hits me again. I'm pulling my dog from by the leash because he doesn't know what's going on. He's unaware just everything that just happened. And then I was like, Mello, we're leaving. So I turn around to see if my dog is like following me because it's like the stretchy leash, so I didn't know if he was right behind me or not. I see the bird flying at me one more time. And I'm just like, by that time, I'm like 20 feet away from its nest. I don't know why it's still following me. And it gets me just one more time. Just one more time before I go back into my apartment. So,
Oh god.
I
yeah.
like how the bird was just like unfazed by your dog. Like you'd think
Oh, I know.
I don't care.
It was like, it was a pretty small dog, so it wasn't going to be barking just like crazy.
That
So,
was insane though. Oh my goodness.
I wasn't allowed to own anything with skull and crossbones as a kid.
okay.
3, 2, 1. Yeah, it was me. It was
Really?
me.
Why?
I don't know. I just
I
wasn't
kind
allowed
of
to. They
guessed.
were like, that represents death and poison.
I kind of guessed that just because I know that you weren't allowed to have
Yeah, I
brats.
wasn't allowed to have brat stall either. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That is so weird because your mom is like,
No, I know. She's like really chill and stuff. But like when I was a kid, there was a certain Barbie movie I wasn't allowed to watch until I was a certain age, which didn't make any sense because it was also one of the worst Barbie movies ever made. Barbie Diaries. She was like, that's like has mature setting because it's a girl who likes a guy, but I'm like, isn't that every Barbie movie and Disney princess movie ever?
literally Barbie and Ken. Like,
That is
what?
what that is.
Yeah. I hold my breath when I pass by cemeteries.
3, 2, 1. Who's the imposter?
It's not me.
Yeah, it was me.
Okay.
This is why I think I knew it was Brooke because that just seems like it'd be rooted from a superstition. And Brooke, not sorry, Claire is not superstitious because she kept on walking on the SFA seal like it was no one's business, like it was her little
I
runway.
did.
And and I was
Did.
just like, this girl would not give a fuck about cemeteries. Like she'd probably breathe in extra
But
hard.
it's
So I'm like,
I did that
it's Brooke.
SFA seal thing because everyone would be like, if you walk on the seal, you're not gonna graduate. I was like, I'm gonna walk on the seal and I'm gonna graduate and laugh on all y'all's faces.
And you
I
did.
did. So ha.
Girl, I ain't anticipate like that. I already have terrible luck.
I'm so
Yeah, I hold my breath when I pass by like a cemetery because like I don't need to get possessed. But I don't know. I don't think that's a super common thing, but also I think it might be a super common thing. I
I've
don't
never heard of that, but I can see why. Because I am a superstitious person. Like, you tell me a superstition and I'll probably fall for
That's
it, you
why I was
know?
like, it could go either
Um,
way with that.
yeah, but I've never heard about that. That's pretty interesting. Is it like the fear of like you in like inhaling negative energy or like actually
know.
getting possessed?
It's mainly the energy, but
Okay.
because like yes, they're just dead people, but not every person dies with like good intentions. So I think that like idea behind it is to just not breathe that in.
That's
Um,
true. That's valid.
but like obviously, if you visit a cemetery, you're gonna breathe. But it's just like I don't know something that like has stuck with me. I don't really know where it comes from, but it's just like don't breathe when you pass a cemetery, like in a car type deal. I don't know.
Because sometimes like you might have not heard it, but in your head it's just like, yeah, that makes sense.
I don't
You know?
know. I don't know where it comes from. I don't remember anyone specifically telling to do that, but I do know that I'm not the only one who does that. So I
Yeah.
don't know. Anyways,
I peed myself on a bike and cried about it.
On a hike?
On a bike. Oh, wait, a hike. A hike. Sorry, not a bike. A hike.
He moves up.
Okay. 1,
I don't know.
2,
3.
3.
Why would it be me? I just go with the flow.
It's
No!
me. So I was like 11 at the time. My mom, we lived in a neighborhood where it already had like a little hiking trail in the neighborhood. So we went, I brought my water. I was trying to be like super healthy and stay hydrated, so I drank the whole thing. And then she was like, "Okay, like let me do one more lap." And I'm like, "Okay, hurry cuz I really have to pee." Mind you, I don't know if she walked extra slow. I don't know if it felt longer because I really had to pee, but I started tearing up because in my head I'm like, it's gonna come out and there's nothing I can do
Oh
about it.
no! Wait,
So
how old were
I was
you?
11. I was pretty
Yeah,
old, but
but
still.
I mean, when like there's only so much time.
And I'm like, it was too far away for me to like walk back home. And if I left and my mom didn't, and I didn't tell my mom, like she would have been freaking the fuck out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So then I was crossing my legs
I
so
would have gone
hard.
into the
Like
woods and tried to pop a squat or something.
there was no woods. There was no
But it was a
woods.
hike.
Like it was, but it was all like low, like there wasn't like trees.
Oh,
So then,
yeah.
it got to the point where I peed myself, and then when my mom came back around, she saw me crying. She started running towards me, and she was like, "What's going on?" Like she thought someone hurt me or I got hurt. I was like, "I just peed myself," and yeah, it was really bad and kind of traumatizing.
I'm sorry.
Not really, but it was just really bad.
I mean, you couldn't have done anything else in that situation. You were also 11, so it's,
That's
Yeah.
true. So
no. You know.
You know, yeah, no, there's literally nothing you could have done though. It's like
yeah,
I told her,
so
and well,
I learned my lesson. I'm not drinking a whole bottle of water like that again.
I don't blame you. And then you in the cafeteria would have like 2 giant glasses of water every
That's true.
goodness.
I once started and ended a relationship in less than 24 hours. Okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
What the fuck?
It's me. It was me. I lied.
Oh,
Why do you think that?
I thought it was you just because I know Claire has like told me about her relationships before and she's never mentioned this one.
Oh.
And I feel like you would be down to date someone and then you're like, actually, never mind.
Yeah, you're right.
It was in high school, and it was because this guy asked me out, and there was like a bunch of people around us, and I felt bad, even though I didn't really want to date him. But I was like, sure. Like he was like, "Will you be my girlfriend in front of all these people?" I was like, sure.
Oh.
Literally, I can't remember if it was like later that day or the next morning. I broke up with him because I was like privately.
As you should, because why would he put you in that position? I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
I'm
but
like,
like,
sir,
if it was like, would you be my Valentine's? Like, okay, that's cute.
yeah.
Like, it's like a temporary 1 day thing, but like,
No, he was like, "Do you want to be my girlfriend?" And I was just like, I felt bad. Like I didn't want to say that in front of everyone because like I wouldn't want that to happen to me, type shit. But I'm like, also, why would you do that? Why would you?
yeah.
But I was just like, no, sorry.
That's fair.
Yeah. So I ended it really quickly. R.I.P.
You've seen that video of Ring Pop guy who like they're in the stadium or whatever and he proposes to this girl with a ring pop and she like dumps her drink on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the same vibe a little bit with the public.
Okay, so next is Femme Feast.
Femme Feast.
Femme
Okay, hold on.
Feast. Everyone got the foodies.
Yes. I want to talk about these chips a little bit. We're not to the brews and reviews yet, but it has to do with the feast. So, I recently, like, I've seen these like hundreds of times before. Like, they're all over, like, in every single grocery store. Girl, I forgot you were eating pineapples, and I thought those were straight up beans. Oh my gosh.
No,
Sorry.
pineapples.
Um, but these are like the Quest protein chips, and this one is loaded taco. This one's kind of mid, I'm not gonna lie. But the other ones are good, and this has 19 grams of protein and only 140 calories, which I think it's like crazy if you don't want to straight up drink like a protein smoothie or whatever. So I'm snacking on this.
Yeah, I'm just eating pineapples. What you eating, Brooke?
I have 15 grams of protein for 100 calories and a Fage, which you can buy the 0%, but
And a what?
I like the 2% Fage.
Fage. Or like
Greek
parfait?
yogurt. No, it's Fage. And it's Greek yogurt, but it comes
I love Greek yogurt.
unsweetened, so I put like a little bit of honey in there. It's pretty
Mm.
it's pretty rich. Like I don't know, it tastes kind of like ice cream. It's a good dessert replacement if you just want to put like chocolate chips or whatever in there.
Have you ever tried like putting it in the freezer for a little bit?
No, but that sounds good. I'm gonna have to try that actually. Like an ice cream bar.
Mm-hmm.
You like put chocolate over it and freeze it, make like yogurt bars. That'd be really good. The ASMR crunch is
Really? Well,
yeah,
let me find a good piece. Hold on.
yeah, it was crunchy.
I can't imagine doing like an ASMR not challenge, channel. Just because I feel like I'd forget I have to be quiet and then like be like, or like say something really loud and then my career's over.
No, for real though.
But like on TikTok live or like, I mean, it started on YouTube first, but like you can always like edit and cut out things and like put it on a loop. But on TikTok Live, like there's like these dedicated ASMR creators or like content creators that will literally spend like over 8 hours on live, just like, you know, and it's like mainly at night because they're just trying to like help you fall asleep. You know what I mean? It's almost like a little like as if you're putting on like a podcast in the back or something and just to help you fall asleep or like a YouTube video in the background. They do that, which I think is crazy because like it's like live. Like you can't just like, okay, like let me pause and whatever. Like it's live and you have to like keep it going for that long.
I'm not the biggest fan of mouth noises, to be honest. I don't know. Like some ASMR is like fine. Like you eating chips is fine, but
Yeah.
when it gets to like wet noises, I'm like, no, no,
Well,
thank you.
the ASMR that they do on live, it's like they have on like gloves or something. Um
Oh, not
like
eating.
mittens, yeah, like not eating,
Mhm.
and then they like have like a wig, like a little mannequin with the wig, and it's like they're massaging the hair, and it's supposed to like kind of make you feel like you're getting like a little head massage, or it's like role playing sometimes too, like okay, like let me put on makeup on you, and then they do like the little like mouth noises. It's weird. It's not weird, but it's
That's
interesting
kind of weird.
how creative they can get.
But no, like I get it though. Like one of
Hmm.
those soothing kind of things. Um, I wanted to mention while we're eating. Um, have y'all heard like the? I know I think I mentioned it to y'all. The solar flare thingy. The conspiracy thing.
No.
Um, so so I saw on TikTok. There's been like video. Someone told me about it though. So like apparently we had a recent solar flare like not too long ago, I think. But apparently there's gonna be one in like 2025 is what they're saying. That's gonna like knock down our satellites. Or like make it where they don't like send signals, you know what I mean?
So like the
So we won't have signal for like I don't know how long because some people were like, oh, it's gonna last like a year, and I'm like, I don't think it's gonna last a year. I think it might last like a day or two.
that
Yeah.
reminds me a lot of the movie Leave the World Behind.
I'm
Hmm.
actually gonna make a movie that's like kind of with that same concept. We're all written down. It's
So
called The End.
we did some research about the solar flare that happened in the past, and it happened in the late 1900s. I don't know
I think
what
it was
year because I have it in front of me,
was
but
it late 1800s or was it
no,
okay?
1900s because
It
they
was
remember
1985 or something.
we read about the
The
tele
telegraph.
whatever.
So the telegraph
Yes.
electrocuted people. The
Uh-huh.
last time
Yeah.
this
So
solar flare like it has hit, the telegraph well because it wasn't something everyone had in their house or anything, but if they were on the telegraph or whatever using it, um those buildings set on fire. There was like reported fires all during when that solar flare hit. And I'm like, so because of all the, because that was the only biggest technology thing we had back then. I'm like, with all the technology we have now, what do you think the chances are of like all of our shit getting fire?
I read
I hope.
an opinion an opinion not that long ago on this, and it was basically stating that the writer thinks that the interruption will only last like maybe 2 days
Um,
if it happens
that's what
that crazy, that big of a solar flare, because we have like better understanding of like electricity and how to cap it
okay.
and how to control like voltage and XYZ, whatever.
Mhm.
But then he went on and talked about Texas in particular because, Texas, we're on our own like power grid. So it's like unknown if that grid, because of its age, will hold up or not. We may be replacing parts of it. I don't know. I'm not an electrician, so I don't really understand how all of that works.
Me
But
either.
this person seemed to think it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but maybe a huge deal for Texans.
I feel like the good thing is that at least like I mean it's not 100% certain that the flare will happen in 2025, but now that
Well,
like
NASA
people
said
are
it.
talking about it,
NASA said it
um
was.
well yeah, I mean like I
I
know
mean,
like
like, there's a lot of
obviously
like
if
proof that it is gonna hit in 2025. We don't know the exact dates, but I mean,
yeah.
we don't know how like visibly
Big,
catastrophic it'll really be.
yeah.
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 But the good thing is that at least like it's being known about it now because
Mhm.
I mean it's 2024. We have like I mean a little bit less than a year for Texas to I'm not saying completely figure it out, but like
Hmm.
get it together in a way.
Yeah.
Will they? Probably
Probably
not.
not.
I need to you know what I need to start doing? What I need to like get my family to start doing is like start actually like buying things that can help us if something like that happens. Like there's like these certain
My
I
mom,
don't know if they're technically
my mom has a go bag.
Where's she gonna go?
She she has a go bag that is like all the essentials in case the apocalypse was to happen, like paper maps, compasses, canned
Okay,
food that
mom.
lasts forever, little easy setup tent, like little teeny tiny sleeping bag thing, like no, not sleeping bags. It's the firefighter tarp things that are insulated that are really thin blankets.
Oh my
He has
god.
all this stuff packed away just in case.
See, because
Like
that's what I want.
crazy.
Like, I don't know if it was like necessarily like walkie-talkies, but like and I don't know if it's real because I saw it in a movie, but in the movie Leave the World Behind, there was like this thing that like even without signal, even without like anything, like they're supposed to work. I'm
Yes,
sure they're like a
there's
pretty penny, but
well, there's some that
That
aren't
movie,
that expensive that work similarly. It's just like range kind of
mm,
thing too. I don't know.
that I haven't seen Leave the World Behind, but my parents watched it, and I also saw a lot of the backlash on Twitter about um, how it's like a political agenda or like some sort of subliminal messaging. And it's
mm.
also produced by the Obamas, which is like curious because the movie like is of the subject matter that it is.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Do you think it was like politically motivated?
Well, yeah, because it's mentioning like okay, I don't want to. It's been a while since I've seen it, even though it came out like not too long ago, and I've only seen it once, so I can't remember everything exactly. But basically, they did mention or give hints that like, hey, the government isn't always telling you everything, which I understand. Like, for example, if like at school, right? Like I'm a teacher and if something was like bad happening, I'm not going to be telling everything to my kids because they're 6th and 8th grade. Like 8th grade is pretty grown, but like some things like the kids aren't really supposed to like know right away before we figure it out. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So I understand why the government does that because they don't want a whole another fucking civil war going on because they are selling or like saying everything like as it comes. But obviously like they need to be transparent about things and basically what the movie is saying is like, hey, we're telling you this is happening, but in reality this is happening. So it's almost like they're lying about it in a way. Or like
Mm.
again, they weren't being fully transparent because someone in the movie, someone is like close friends with someone like that is has kind of like I want to say high power, but like, you know, has a lot of knowledge about like the government and things that happen like behind the scenes and all that. And they plan in the movie that guy was planning on leaving the United States before all that shit went down. So it's almost like they have
Mm,
prior knowledge to things that will happen before we find out and can help ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So that's my only issue because I'm just like, I mean, we're people too. Like I get it, but like not everyone can always help themselves the same way. But like it's not going to help us if nothing is mentioned.
Yeah, I'm like we gotta
Um
know at least something.
and it does mention other countries being involved. Um so like specific countries, not just saying like other countries, like there were like specific countries that mentioned that were like part of like what had happened or what caused it.
Hmm.
So I definitely would suggest y'all to like watch it and maybe we can talk about it like a little follow up in the next podcast. I want to watch it again because now thinking about it, I kind of forgot a few things. But yeah, I feel like it'd definitely be like an interesting topic to talk about, like a little conspiracy topic.
For sure.
Welcome to Brews and Reviews.
Yes,
Cheers.
before I bring out.
Cheers.
Cheers. What did y'all make?
So I made a, I don't know, it doesn't have a name, but just put some mineral water in the glass and then some like pink Whitney, like just a shot of pink Whitney and some lemon juice. And I just put a lemon in there for fancy. And
It
that's what
looks very refreshing.
it is. It's very light too. Sometimes when I drink red wine, it's like ugh, bloat. But
No, yeah.
this is good and it's not like too crazy either. Like it's okay for
Mm.
a night, whatever.
Yeah.
Not you too drunko, cinco de drinko. Anyways,
I got my fruit punch. That's what I'm gonna say it is. Beatbox
I got
a little bit.
my fake martini,
Yeah.
which I'll be honest, it's literally just water. But I personally think that martinis taste like water and alcohol just mixed together. I've had one martini that Claire's mom made me, and I'm never having another
That
one
was
again.
so nasty. I don't know what she
It
put in
was,
it, but it was bad.
It was okay, literally, it looked exactly like what a martini should look like. Like it was clear and it had like two olives and I had to eat like three more after just to get the taste out of my mouth.
Yeah.
But it was like so I wouldn't even it was obviously it was strong, but
Yes.
it was the taste because usually it's like the like how strong the alcohol is that makes me like but it was the taste that I could not stand. I couldn't drink it.
Yeah.
So, um, I was a bartender in college, and I went to bar school, and I worked at like dive bars, and I also worked at like really fancy steakhouses. Well, in the steakhouse, I would make a lot of martinis, and I'm telling you right now that 90% of them are 3 ounces of straight liquor. And what you drank is, tried and true martini, but a lot of people like dirty martinis. They like, I had this one guy come in, he was like, "Can you make me a dirty martini as dirty as Kim Kardashian?" And I was like, "Okay, dude.
Oh
I
my
can
God.
anything with olive juice, okay? And that just means to put more olive juice in it or put olive juice in it is dirty. And that is disgusting. Like the combination of the liquor and the olive juice just makes me gag. But there's like cosmopolitans or vespers, which I'm really into, and it's like, yes, it's a lot of liquor, but it tastes much nicer. There's no like bitterness of the olive. It's more like I like sweet or I don't know. It's just a crazy thing to order a martini.
April, have you ever had gin before then anyway?
I'm gonna be honest. I've always just, I mean, you've always just been kind of in charge to make me drinks,
And the answer
and
is
I
no,
never
she's
know what,
never had gin before then.
and
That's why.
I never know what you put in it. You're just like, here you go,
Well,
and I take it.
I also make you
I,
things that I feel like you'll like because I know kind of what your
yeah,
taste
like,
is.
obviously, like, well, I mean, these are very, very basic, but like, I basically just know like Malibu and Pink Whitney and Kinky and like those kinds of like, drinks or like alcohol. I don't really know like whiskey. I don't know if I've had it. Vodka, obviously I've
You've
had it.
had whiskey
Gin, I don't,
before?
huh?
Have you really never had whiskey before?
I don't know. Cause I literally just drink what people give me.
I
That
don't think
sounds
I've
so
ever
bad
made
and
you
dangerous. But
thought that was like
that's
something you would like because I know you like all those other things. So I'm like, she probably won't like whiskey.
actually, what did I have? Cause we we went to a rave on Saturday and then we were like taking shots and I can't remember what I had, but it was so disgusting. I think it was vodka. And then after that, like I was thinking about taking a shot of whiskey because it was like I think it was like either Crown or like some other kind of brand because it said whiskey on it, but I couldn't. Like I'm like I can't have anything after that little shot because it was so
I want to
gross.
say whiskey is definitely better to take a shot of than vodka.
Yeah. I can see that. I feel like
Vodka just
I don't know
tastes
if
like
it's the
rubbing alcohol if you just have it straight. Like it's hard to swallow.
I'm
I don't know if it's the color that makes it seem like whiskey would have more of a flavor, but like it just seems
Nice,
more
but it's dry.
appetizing than vodka.
Yeah.
you shouldn't feel bad about not liking gin though, because fun fact, the original like martini was made with gin, but like the majority of people today prefer vodka. So to gin, because gin is like sometimes like really in your face, or it's often like distilled with things like cucumber or like a botanical, and a lot of people don't like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not my favorite liquor either, but so it is some people. It's like scotch. I don't know if you've ever had scotch, but there's people who really like scotch, and then there's people who just absolutely can't stand it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one or the other. It's the same thing with gin. The Your makeup looks really good on camera.
Oh,
Abril's like halo effect that's going on is like
Your
eating.
eye makeup, yeah, her eye makeup looks really nice.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I was about to get into it with my new Rick and Morty palette from Glamlight. I it was like I was on TikTok and I like every other video was this like highlighter palette. It's from Glamlight. It was my first time hearing about that brand, but this is like crazy quality for it being like a new brand to me, at least, because I've never heard of them before. This palette was $18 plus shipping was like 23, but I honestly find it like super worth it because I don't really have a lot of highlighter palettes, and this is gonna be like my main one either way.
Mhm.
But let me cover the mirror because it's not distracting. But they have these colors. I don't know how well you can like see them.
Is that a blue or a green?
Blue. This is like, okay, in different lights, okay, it looks purple and then blue in some lights. So it's like more bluish than like yellowy goldish, and then like like a pink purplish. So one is called the pink purplish is called Anomaly. The middle one is called Cosmos, and the one I'm wearing right now is called Uncharted. And I used it for my nose, my Cupid's bow, which might be kind of rubbed off because I was eating, my inner corner, and then like my eyelid. And then I put some on this cheekbone and then not on this cheekbone because I want to show you like a comparison. So I I've never really liked highlighter on my cheekbone, but I really like how this one looks. And then I wanted to show y'all because like I do like a little swatch. It
Mhm.
looks like that. And then what I just do is like tap it basically. I don't really have a highlighter brush, so I basically just do this. And then that's literally like all you need. And I feel like I can see this lasting like forever, honestly. So yeah, that's my review of the day. I really like it.
Fair.
10 out of
I
10.
love
I don't really spend a lot of money on makeup, so this was kind of expensive compared to what I usually buy, but I think it's definitely worth it.
It looks really good on
it.
camera.
Does.
Thank
It
you.
looks really nice. Well, I want to ask because my reviews is more just music. Y'all know about the Megan and Nicki beef that's been going on. So Megan, y'all heard Hiss, right? Megan's song.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all
Mm-hmm.
heard
Yes.
Bigfoot yet?
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
they childish.
They just need to make
No,
up
for
because
real.
it's not that serious. And
I part of me wants to say it's for publicity.
oh, I don't know. Probably on Nikki's part, but like
Yeah.
that song she released, Bigfoot, was like 4.5 minutes of my life. Like I just can't get it back. Like it's just so bad. I didn't think she could make a song like that, but then she like released it. Like they let her release it. Like people listened to that and was like, "This is good." It's terrible.
No. Yeah.
I I first of all, so there was no reason why Nikki, I'm not saying it wasn't like a portion of the song wasn't directed towards Nikki because obviously I can't remember word for word, but it says something about um y'all hoes ain't mad at me, y'all hoes mad at Megan's Law,
That wasn't
something along those
his,
lines.
and that
Yeah, that
was
wasn't
her
his.
diss towards Nikki's man.
Well, it wasn't necessarily towards Nicki's man because
Mm-mm.
there's a lot of people in the music industry who are either under Megan's Law or should be under
That's
Megan's Law.
true.
Because she didn't say she's mad her man is under Megan's Law or
That's
something like
true.
that. It just says it's very generic.
Yeah.
And even if it was,
Nikki
what
just
about it?
exploded from it.
And I'm gonna be 100% honest. Even if it was towards Nicki's man, what about it? He did that and he can never take that back. The people that suffered through that can't. Oh, we did a thumbs up. I don't know if that showed on y'all's screen, but um the people he did that to can't just, you know, undo it in their mind in however it happened. So who really gives a fuck? She decided to be with him. Her brother is also a registered sex offender. At that point, like I understand your brother's family, but choosing to be with someone that has done that,
and
That's like
have a
there's
kid.
no excuse for that.
No.
If Nikki's mad, it's because it's her fault. She wouldn't be mad. She wouldn't be butthurt. She wouldn't be pressed if she was with someone decent enough to have. I can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
No, I
yeah.
just think she over Twitter just overreacted like to another level. And she was like, I have all these songs lined up, you have no idea. And I'm like, well, if y'all were friends, why do you have all these songs like ready to play? You have all these songs ready to go or something, is what she made it sound like. And I'm like,
No, she don't, because that song they released is
no,
awful.
for real. I'm
There's no
like, there's
way.
no
There's
way
no
this was,
way they thought
if
about
this
that.
was a prepared song, that's even worse. I'm sorry.
And also the fact that
Don't get me wrong, because I love a lot of Nicki's music. Like I got a lot of it like on replay.
Mm-hmm.
But that one was not it.
and another thing is that because I don't follow Nikki on Instagram. I follow Megan on Instagram, and you know I think it was very mature for Megan to just not push back at Nikki. You know what I
Yes.
mean? She did post some pictures in regards to like an anime, and that did have some meaning behind it. I didn't really figure that out until I saw it on TikTok, but it wasn't like a straight up direct message towards Nikki. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And another thing is that I was again, I didn't like start following Nikki to keep up with the drama, but I was watching her stories and I was seeing like how Nikki was, oh my gosh, Bigfoot is number one on blah blah blah, Bigfoot's number one on blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, not because it's good, but it's because it's part of drama.
Yeah.
You know what I
It's
mean?
true.
Like no one's listening to it for fun. No one's listening to it and going like, "Oh, damn, that's so fucking good." Blah blah blah.
No.
They're listening to it saying, "What is this?" They're sending it to their friends saying, "Listen to what she put out."
I mean, going off what you were saying about Megan being like really mature in this situation, well, I don't know if y'all like how closely y'all were following, but they had to get security on Megan's mom's grave because the Barbs were, plotting or whatever, like actually wanting to desecrate her mom's grave. And I feel like that might be a whole like a good reason why she wouldn't like just say anymore because like that's pretty intense like as it is, What kind of person does that to somebody they don't
And also like Megan didn't come for again directly. I really don't know if Megan's Law was directed towards Nikki or not. But again, even if it was, it wasn't direct. She didn't directly say it about her brother. She didn't directly say it about her husband.
Which that's good music. Like that's most songs. Like, do you know how many Taylor Swift breakup songs that are about whoever?
Yeah, and like with Nikki's song, like she didn't only bring up something that was traumatizing to her, which was, losing her mom, but it was also about the Tory Lanez thing, which I think that stooping low, I think a word, stooping low to like a whole nother level because I'm like, now you're not even coming up with good disses, you're just bringing up trauma for her.
not just that, but I don't know if you guys heard that whole album, but there's a song that she wrote called Cobra, and it is emo, like very emo. She talks about how sad she is, how like people are, waiting for her downfall, and just because like she's making money doesn't mean like she's okay. She talks about her boyfriend cheating on her. Like it is a very like dark, kind of painful for Megan song. And this came around the same time that Hiss came. It's all like Snick themed. Um, and I think a lot of that darkness came from like the Tory Lane stuff and that people like Nicki Minaj kind of sympathize with him. And, she went through all of that. So it's like, wow, you go through all of that and like she's basically shitting on herself in Cobra and then she's shitting on other people in Hiss. So it's like, how can you get mad about that really? Like
Yeah. I only have one other thing to mention within the music realm. I am very glad Miley Cyrus won the Grammy, her first Grammy.
Yeah.
Because
She looked
honestly,
great
she's
too.
in a good spot in her life, I feel like, to win one. You
Yeah.
know?
She looked happy. She looked
Right.
like she was really having a good time performing,
Right.
and that was really cool to see that.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, um, so like, you know, whenever the whole it's not where you're going, but where like the journey took you, that one meme that they kept on playing about her, I'm not gonna say it wasn't like her the memes weren't funny because I'll like I'm gonna be honest about it. Like some were kind of funny, but people taking it to a level of saying like, oh, she didn't deserve it, oh, she didn't blah blah blah. Like the amount of like I mean like the years that she spent like singing and making good music, like
She has
I'm
a
not
lot of
saying that it
really
was
popular music.
yeah, like
It's
she
like,
was like I literally had a Hannah Montana birthday theme. Like I'm not even gonna like she was a big part of my childhood. And you know, she has gone through a lot from like her previous relationships, from family because she's like not very like on not she's not on good terms with her dad. Like she didn't go to her dad's wedding. Some of her siblings didn't go to her mom's wedding. Like obviously just like everyone else, like they're going through stuff and her wanting to celebrate like her winning her first Grammy and then people being like, you didn't deserve it, I think is really just not like you didn't have to say that. Like if it's your opinion, it's your opinion. But how are you gonna tell someone that they didn't deserve it when they've been working for it for years?
for real. And she does deserve
That's
it. Like, do you know, like, she got nominated a bunch of times, didn't she?
I'm not sure. I didn't watch the Grammys. I've only seen like highlights of it.
Same. But still, I'm like, she's made a lot of big music. A lot. A lot of people know her name. I don't know anyone who doesn't.
Hmm.
So,
I didn't even watch Hannah Montana as a kid. I haven't seen any of it. But I started to kind of pay attention around like the bangers era of her,
Hmm.
just because I could kind of relate, like, oh, this girl, this is her expectation. Now she's going crazy and she's finding out like who she is, kind of thing.
yeah.
That kind of resonated with me, and so like ever since I've been following her, just like seeing what she makes and where she goes, and I thought she looked really good, like healthy
Yeah.
in her
Yeah.
like her performance,
Yes.
because there's been times where you like see her and you kind of wonder like, ooh, is she okay?
Yeah.
Like, is she
Well, I mean,
doing something
the
she
whole
shouldn't be? I don't know.
song was about her, like, she's doing things for herself now, you
Yeah.
know? And so
She
it's like, that was the right song for her to win the Grammy, like, for that time period, for her to win the Grammy. Crazy. And then, well, I mean, honestly, what you were saying about like some people, like not agreeing, like giving hate, saying she doesn't deserve it and stuff. I feel like Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl, which I think Brooke is about to talk about, had had a lot of hate for her just being there, which is
Okay,
ridiculous.
I'm sorry. I'm about to go on a T Swift
Go,
rant real
go
quick.
for it,
Just real quick.
please.
So, a few things about Taylor Swift. Like, I used to really like her. Like, I used to really like her music when she did like country. Like, and I don't even like country. I just thought it was cute. It's a cutesy thing. It's Taylor Swift, whatever. When she started making pop music, I was like, this is it for me. Like, I can't. I just think she's whiny. Like, she's whiny. She takes no responsibility for anything. And like recently, I've been reading about her and her flight controversies. Like, she does not care about the planet. She's gonna just like cause so much destruction. Like, it doesn't matter if I use like plastic straws or not. Like, Taylor Swift's already burning up the atmosphere for me
Are you talking
on
about the
her 15
flight that she was
yeah, it was like
15
15
minutes
minutes
or
or
15
something.
miles away and she flew there or something like
Yeah,
that?
not only did she do it, she wants
I
to
don't know.
take the kid. Like, she ordered a cease and desist to the kid whose Twitter is tracking her private jets, to show the world, like, hey, this is your superstar. She does not care at all, and like her actions are just so like in your face. It's like, I don't understand how you could like her, because she writes crap music about the same breakups. She dates the most annoying men, and then it's like she just wants you to feel bad for her type beat. And I'm just not with it. Like, that's just not who I am or resonate with as a person. And I don't think she's a very good person either.
I've never been personally like into her music very heavily. Like, so I had a bus driver when I moved to Alabama for like 2 years, the bus driver would play the same two Taylor Swift songs every single day, and only those two. That I got so sick of her music. I never wanted to hear it again. And so like her whole pop era, like I would hear the music, whatever, but I'm like, I never really got into it. It was never like my cup of tea. I would never put on a Taylor Swift song personally. So I mean, and I don't really know her enough as a person, but I know she's best friends with Selena Gomez, and I do like Selena Gomez. That's all I know, though.
I'm gonna so I didn't fact check this, but I did see on Twitter that there was like a top 10 list of the people that um emitted the most CO in 2023, and she wasn't in the top 10. Now, I think, and again, I didn't fact check this, so I don't know if that's true, but in my head, I wouldn't be surprised if all the attention was on her right now.
Mm-hmm.
One, because, she's been on the Super Bowl like screen a lot. Two, she's
She's been
dating
going to all the Chiefs
um
games, and they're like saying that they're sick of her being on the jumbotron or whatever. But it's like,
yeah, and number two, like because of her Eras tour. Number three, because she's dating Travis Kelce. Like a lot of the attention is on her right now,
mhm.
and like I understand that it's very bad, like the amount of like CO2 like she's emitting in like our planet that we all live in. But I feel like it's just like if she's not in the top 10 and all the hate is going to her right now, it's because she's getting the most attention out of the majority of the celebrities right now. You know what I mean? But yeah, there's definitely a lot of like good and bad focus on Taylor Swift right now. And then a lot of people
Mhm.
are coming to a realization like, okay, so she will ignore like thousands and thousands of tweets of saying like, please like stand up for Palestine, like stand up for, like ceasefire and all that. And she doesn't reply once. But the moment that the stuff comes out about, her damaging our planet, like immediate tweets saying like, stop.
Well, I think you're definitely right. Like, there are definitely people who are way more destructive, but it's just the fact that she makes pop music. She's not, like, in the scope of things, she's not that important that she can't drive 30 minutes down the road. It's just, I think, really, it's the appalling nature of, like, how ridiculous the flights are. And it's not just that, why I say, like, she's just not a very good person.
Yeah.
It's more like the passive aggressive points where she gets caught, like the Grammys, where she was so disrespectful to Celine Dion, like she doesn't know who she is or what she's going through, um, which is like so crazy considering how famous that person is, how much that person did for music, and Taylor Swift just like disrespected her,
What
which
did
is
she
like
do? I
immature.
saw
It's
videos.
immature.
Huh?
Like she was just acting really immature,
Isn't she
not
just ignored
acknowledging her.
her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't do that. You don't do that to people who are, but I think she's gotten a big head because, you know, is she is a mega star. Like there are people who are just famous, but then there's like your Michael Jacksons and your Taylor Swifts. They're known around the world type fame, and that's like I can't even like fathom what that would be like, but I can imagine you can just do whatever you want, say whatever you want, and there's like barely any consequences. I don't know. I feel like she doesn't handle that aspect well, publicly at least, like how she gets caught. But I mean, you're right. Like it's crazy how much attention she's got from dating this football dude. I don't Travis. Um, I don't understand
But
that.
also,
Like
she's not the
why?
one in charge of the jumbotron or whatever. So like, it's not really her fault. Like, she's famous.
No.
Of course, they're gonna put her on there.
No,
But
yeah,
at
I'm
the
not
same
I'm not hating that they're putting it
time,
I'm not hating that they're putting her on the Jumbotron because
yeah.
again, she's
I'm just
like
saying
she's
that's
not
something a lot
paying
of
like
people.
those commercials to be on the screen,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, I'm just saying a lot of people. That's what they're mad at, and I'm like, okay, that's that's stupid to be mad at her for.
Well,
Like, if you're
there's
mad
a
at her, be mad
conspiracy.
at her for other like something else for the CO2 or whatever. But I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not
There's a conspiracy though.
what.
I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but it's like it's political, of course, but they think that Taylor Swift dating Travis is like some sort of political stunt before the election. Um, so
What
that's
would
a
this
rabbit hole
not
to go
even be
down. Sure.
for?
Because Taylor Swift's fan base is so large, and so is like Travis's, that they think that they can sway the presidential election. It's like
Based off of
that
what
shit.
they say they're gonna vote for?
Yes,
That's a
basically. Like their whole relationship is a political
that's
ploy. Is what.
stupid. I'm sorry. If you can be that easily manipulated, like
Yeah, that's
just vote
crazy.
for who you want to vote for.
So I wanted to kind of talk about the Super Bowl show with Usher. And I first want to say that I think Usher looks great. He gave us what we wanted. I know a lot of people wanted Justin Bieber, but that wasn't going to happen. I knew that wasn't going to happen. I had a gut feeling. But anyways, yeah, he looked really good. The performance was, you could tell he like put time into it. Um, his his mic issues, I was just kind of like, but you know, YouTube did that Photoshop after. Alicia Keys had a note that was kind of off, but they edited it in real time on YouTube. I don't know how we feel about edited art just going out, but I personally like the auto tune note because it felt more authentic. It felt real. I felt um, the excitement, like of performing in front of a bunch of you're on the Super Bowl, you know, like of course you're gonna have a slip up or whatever. Like it's real. I don't know. I like that. I'm weird. But they edited they edited the performance and put it on YouTube. So if you didn't watch it live or don't watch like the live recording, like you're getting an edited version, just so you know. But I don't there was a lot of backlash about the chemistry between Usher and Alicia Keys. And I don't really understand that. Like, I get it. He was touchy feely, but like, they're a performer. Like, it's performance. This is not like real life. And I think it was really beautiful and touching that they've known each other for so long and had this performance. And it was just like I like to see it. Like it was a moment.
You want to speak on that? I do think he was a little too touchy, but at the same time, there are, like she said, they are performers. And actors do that shit. Like they make out with someone else and have a whole sex scene with someone else when they're married, and that's fine. So it's like it's not that big of a deal. They're literally putting on a show. But at the same time, I get it. Like, but whatever. They've known each other for forever. That's fine.
Yeah, I will say like um personally, and I don't, oh my gosh. And I don't want to sound like, oh, I wouldn't want my husband to like interact with female artists if he was like famous. I wouldn't want him to talk to them, to collab with him. None of that, right? Because I understand it's an art and it's their job and they're going to make friends, they're going to make connections, whatever. But I understand if, either party, the guy or the girl, would not feel very comfortable. You know what I mean? Especially if they're not in like the performing art world and they don't really know that much, especially if, that person isn't really close to the other performer. There can be a lot of reasons on why they might not feel very comfortable. Um, and everyone can say like, oh, if I was in her shoes, like they'll all come up with a different like example or opinions, but I'll like speak on mine personally. Like I understand it's for, the audience and it's for the show and it's like the mood of the song and like it's supposed to be like a connection on stage. But personally, like I just would not feel comfortable like that performer, even like doesn't matter how long I've known them, being that touchy feely, because they were comparing it like on Twitter. They were comparing the Usher and Alicia Keys performance with the Peso Pluma and Anita performance, because you could tell like Peso Pluma is, there's also like rumors about him and his girlfriend right now, but at the time Peso Pluma is dating Nikki, and Anita was like, like backing her butt up on him a lot. And Peso Pluma, you could tell that he was kind of trying to back away or face the other way or not be very um engaging in that. And then some people were saying that Alicia Keys it looked like she was kind of trying to do the same thing, like not really trying to engage. I personally didn't really see that. Maybe she just had to walk the other way and it was it
I
was
mean, then
planned.
again, the main
But
touchy-feely part was like his hug and stuff, like behind her or whatever.
Mhm.
Which I mean, like, what do you do at
no,
that point? You know?
no, yeah, yeah. Like I don't know. It's just like my personal opinion, because I like, for example, like when we go out, I don't know them, like they're strangers. I know it would be different if they were like my friends, but like guys like putting their hand behind my shoulder to like get me out of the way, I'd be like, first of all, excuse me would be perfectly fine. Um, or I'm just yeah, I'm very particular about those things, and I'm not gonna like beat a bitch up if they like put their hands on my boyfriend and be like, excuse me. Like I'm not that type of person. But that's why like whenever I'm like going through crowds, my hands are up here because I don't want
I
No
think
nothing to be.
accidental touching.
Yeah.
I have a different perspective just because like my whole life I have been a dancer and I did color guard, so I did do field performance. Um and everything I can tell you, like that Super Bowl performance down to the hug was rehearsed. And when you rehearse these things, like you rehearse them, but it's not the same as like going out there and doing it live. Like the emotions are heightened. You're going to do what you usually do, you're just going to do it over the top because you have to be seen. Like you have to be seen at the back of the audience, is like how my teachers would put it. Like everything you did had to be. Yeah, like so my one year I had to do a waltz and my partner was a girl, but it didn't matter. I had to pretend that that was a dude. And I had to make it look like I was like in love with this person even though I was not. So like from a stage performance, like who knows whose choreography it is, like what Usher was instructed to do, what Alicia felt, like who knows? But I do know that Usher got his marriage license like right before that performance, like right before the performance with this girl that he's marrying. So I mean, if this was rehearsed and like it's just a performance and like he's a performer and it's like she's marrying Usher, like she knows what Usher gets down to. It's kind of like I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely don't agree on like how much attention it's getting because it really was not a big deal. All I was like, basically my point is like,
It was intimate. It was like, have you seen that video of the pair of ice skaters? Like and like they share that hug and everybody's like, oh my god, it's like the most mind-blowing hug, like I would never let my part. Yeah, it's the same kind of like deal. They have like a connection on stage or on the ice and it's like I don't think it's understood by everybody. And yeah, it does seem really weird if you're like not in that relationship. I don't know. Oh, I want to talk about her though. Okay, so her had a guitar solo. I don't know if y'all saw that, but I low key don't think she was playing it, and neither do like half of Twitter. And I want to know what you guys know or think about that.
I don't think she was playing
I
it.
don't know anything, but I'm like, it was a little too perfect.
Okay, so I was in orchestra in sixth grade just for 1 year, but I was a beginner. Obviously, I didn't go anything above that since I was there for 1 year. But I did know some kids in, higher levels, like chamber's the top one. I knew some kids in chamber. And obviously, just like when you're singing, there's like flat notes and then there's like the vibrato. You also do that with instruments. Like whenever like pretend these are the strings, you have to move your hand back and forth in order to make it sound like it's vibrating? And there was a lot of parts and I pay attention to that. Like I don't play perfect. Hold on, sorry. I don't play instruments anymore, but like that's like you know, engraved into my brain. So every time I see someone performing, I pay attention to that. And whenever she was playing, there was a lot of parts that sounded like her finger should have been going like this to make it sound more like vibrato. I don't know what it's called when you're playing guitar, but that sound, there was a lot of parts where she would just had her finger there, and I'm like, her finger should be moving. That's all I got. That's the only thing I noticed, and that's what made me think that she wasn't really playing it live.
There's also, I think they can put like mods kind of thing where it makes it do
Mm.
this kind of, maybe, I don't know, on electric
I
guitars.
don't know, because Claire, we done watched a lot of Thundercat,
No.
and when you watch Thundercat, like his fingers are all over the thing, and
Yeah.
like she barely was moving. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't
No,
think
her fingers were not moving very much. That I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
There's times where one hand was completely off the guitar, and
Mhm.
the other hand was like one finger was on it,
Oh, you're talking
and
about when
it
she
sounded
raised
like
up
there
above her
was.
head, right?
I don't
She
remember,
was
but
like,
I just remember like
and then it, and I was like, how? Huh.
She was a little sus with it.
Yes, yes. I was just like, the very end of her solo, she like held it away from her body, and I'm like, it's still making noise. I don't understand.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't
The
know.
last thing I want to talk about was Little John's entrance. I thought was super underwhelming. Like he came in and he was just like in the side and there crowd.
But I was like, imagine being in that crowd and he just pops up.
I mean, I'm sure they were like maybe actors, but I still felt like he deserved an entrance. Like I don't know if that's how he wanted himself to be, but I mean, it's still John. Come on. I wanted more theatrics there because I didn't notice him at first. And I was a little confused why Lil Jon's voice was coming and I wasn't seeing him, and then I saw him and I was like, "Oh, this is underwhelming."
Yeah, there was also a lot of people saying like, "Oh, that was this artist? I thought it was this artist." Like Will I Am. I didn't even know that was Will I Am. Cause he had that whole like glass like helmet that went into glasses thing. Like a lot of people thought that was Kanye West. But it was Will I Am. The the Dupree guy, I think that's his last name. A lot of people thought he was CeeLo Green at first. Ludacris was very obvious. Like you can't never get like Ludacris mixed up. Um, who else? Lil Jon. I had trouble finding him in the crowd at first. I'm not gonna lie. He should have been kind of he should have been kind of like at least standing on the stage. He was just like legs kicking side of the stage, like so.
I mean, he was like he was higher than everyone else. Like he was on something.
Well, yeah, like he wasn't gonna be like with the crowd, but what I'm saying is like I was like, who is that? Like, what's going on? Like, it was just out of nowhere because they were popping up out of nowhere, and I'm like,
It could have been played better. Like little things, just make it more drastic. You know.
I don't know. I just feel like it's a Super Bowl and everything else was so out like over the top. The outfits, the roller skating choreography, like everything else was pretty like out there, way different than kind of Rihanna's, had like a theme and it like kind of stuck to that theme. Well, this one it was kind of like, yes, it had a theme, but it kind of kept you guessing because you didn't really know what was gonna, and I do think that you're right. They should like have handled the introductions to each of the artists a little bit better because especially like younger generations, I don't think they know who those people are. Like they don't know who they are. Um they don't have an entrance either, so that doesn't help.
another thing which I found out, yes, it was either yesterday or today. Apparently, the ASL translator person, I don't know their correct title, was not doing translator. Okay, so the ASL translator for this year's apparently was not doing it right the whole time, or like he just kept on messing up a lot because I saw it was today, sorry. on TikTok today, I saw this girl who, she was saying how she's deaf, but she can still like talk pretty like well to where I could understand her. And she was also signing, and she was saying how she was disappointed with this year's ASL translator. There were like we couldn't really understand him well. He was too far from the camera. A lot of things that he was signing wasn't making sense with what Usher was singing, which, I mean, obviously, not having to worry about looking for like the ASL translations, I didn't really notice that until it had to come up on TikTok for me to see it.
I didn't hear about that. I know Rihanna's had the best translator. Like, she got so much hype.
How do you hire someone to translate the Super Bowl and you don't like check them? You don't like
No, it's happened a lot that ASL translators literally go to jail because they're translating some like criminal investigation that's live on TV, like they're making a statement about it. The ASL translators on the side, it's completely made up, and then they catch them later and they're like, yeah, she's been under arrest for basically lying about it. And I'm just like, how did
No, for real. It's like, why don't you double check your people? Double check who you hire.
they should go to jail. They should. Especially if it's like criminal cuz like I can imagine innocent people could be put away like they're not translating the right stuff. I don't know. That's messed up. That's like a mm-mm.
Well, thank you all for joining us on Witchy and Bitchy. Bye,
bye
bitches.
bitches.